Hey guys, and we're at video 2 of 4th-in-1 customizations and help in custom figures for all my friends and EF family. And we're going to cover a couple of things today. We're going to cover tools that you need to get started, the things that you do from process to finish, and we're going to briefly talk about different types of customs: hybrid, full figure, customizing tutor, buzzball, and just basic custom. So I just had a couple of figures from some other teams that I wanted to show you to represent some of the things you can do. And then we'll get into making different positions and things like that. Now, I want everybody to understand, since we get so many responses, I can't just take requests, like, can you make this, can you make that? What I'll do is I'll try to cover core positions and the things that you need on the field. So you can do certain things on offense, on defense to improve your game. So I'm just going to be upfront. This is not going to be, hey, Lock, do this pose. I can do a lot of things. I'll share some cool stuff with you, stuff that I have and stuff that I'll create. But we're going to work together, and I'm going to put some things up. So just follow me. Okay. First, we're going to start with our figures. Now, I can make customs out of anything. You guys can make customs out of anything, any figure. Football figures, buzzball, Dwayne Jennings, Tudor, anything you got, you can make a figure out of. But the most comfortable figure so far as chopping and cutting and repositioning and doing it easy is footballfigures.net. And they come 24 to a bag. They're about $25, but they're worth the value because you can really make some incredible poses. There's some of the poses you've seen prior, are football figures, and I'll show you. The next thing you're going to need is something to cut your figures. Now, you can go two ways. You can use X-Acto for legs, need your joints, the head, things like that. But I have a special cutter that I use. It's a cable cutter. Matter of fact, a guy from the cable company, shout out to Xfinity, gave me these cutters when he saw what I was doing. And they always make a very clean incision at the waist. So to cut joints, arms, limbs, I use the X-Acto or box cutter. When I want to cut waist and a little bit more precise cuts, I use the cable cutter. Also, when you want to start bending and manipulating limbs, you're going to use a ladder. Now, this is for adults. You kids out there checking us out, checking me out, checking out the Fat 8, the things we do, ask your parents permission, especially when you're dealing with sharp blades and things that cut and things that can cause fire. So you want to ask your parents permission. But that's how we manipulate the limbs on footballfigures.com and some other figures. You manipulate them with a lighter. Now, when you get more advanced, you can use an embossing gun. This is a heat gun. And what this does is you put the figure at a distance, hold it with a pair of pliers or a pair of metal tongs, something that won't burn yourself. Cover your hand up with a little glove because it can create immense heat. They have some that have heat control, where you can kind of set it low or high, but this is more old school. So it only blows at really one heat, and I have to stand a little bit away from it, put the figure in, but it bends very nicely, especially when you're doing Tudor figures. Shout out to the guy that did the video on how to do Tudor figures, because this is what you can get when you take your time with a Tudor figure. And that's a Tudor figure that's done into a linebacker, regular wide arm guy with some modifications. Okay. The next thing you're going to need that I suggest if you really want to get good at really doing your figures is a jeweler's tool or a Dremel. It's really known by Dremel, but this is not a Dremel. This is one I picked up off on eBay that was a little bit more expensive, a little less expensive, but does the same job. And as you see here, you can click it on, you can click it off, and it has different bits so you can drill certain things in the platform. You can shave down flash from some of the figures like Bruce Watts and Antonio Jones. Sometimes their figures come with a little flash, and you can take that flash down with the different drill bits and try to get as many different drill bits as you can. Not too many, but certain things that you can do specific things with, like shaving edges and corners and taking off plastic, helmet rims, or if you have some older figures and you got to take off paint, it's good for that kind of stuff too. Now, after you go, paint your figures, you get everything done, I do grass trim. This is called static grass, and a lot of other hobbies use it, like railroad hobbies. Some guys use it when they make scale slot car tracks. It can be used for a lot of other projects when you want to recreate grass. And if you see here, like on the Tennessee figure. It's a little bit chipped up on this cornerback here, but I can do that a little later. You know, you can actually have grass on the players. You know, you can really just paint the platform green if you choose, but I like the static grass. It's pretty good on the Army linebacker right there. So I really like to do the static grass on certain players and get that real effect of them running on grass or turf. You do that by a little Elmer's glue, and I got 2 packs from the dollar store. You can find it right there at the dollar store. You know, use your Elmer's glue, and you're going to put that around the platform. And I have a little trick where I have a little small cup, and I'll put a little static grass inside the cup, and then just dip the figure in on the grass platform, and the platform is fully grassed. And then, you know, after paint, you're going to get your face mask and all that kind of stuff. And that's after you paint and, you know, do all your types of decaling and designs, and then you face mask them up. So everything can kind of, you know, come to be more realistic. Now, okay, let's go over everything again. You know, footballfigures.net for their figures, because they're very pliable. They have a lot of figures you can just leave at stock and play also. But they're the best figures to chop and cut so far as full total customization. I'm not disrespecting anybody because I use everybody's stuff. As you see, I have, you know, just the figures displayed. I have a Buzzball custom done by Terry Popham. Big shout to Terry Popham. I miss you, guy. Hybrid Buzzball and football figures together. That's a full football figures down lineman by Reggie Rutledge right there. That is a full Tudor customized linebacker. Buzzball Mr. Everything. Cornerback customized. Wide receiver customized. And right there is another Tudor customized. That's a hybrid, where I took a wide arm guy, cut him at the waist, and I attached him to legs of a bent arm blocker from a Haiti Repro. So you can do some interesting things. If you use your imagination, really open up the mind to the positions you want. Just don't think you're making figures. Guys, you're making athletes. You're making athletes to do the things that you want them to do on the field, whether that's run for touchdowns or get open or make hard tackles or chuck a guy at the line of scrimmage. You're making athletes. So don't get into this, I'm making figures. No, you're making athletes for your teams to perform. Okay? So we're going to go over one more time the things that we're going to do to get started. When you get a little bit more advanced, if you want to start melting plastic from a distance, it's an embossing gun. Bag of Reggie's figures. You can't go wrong with Reginald Rutledge figures from footballfigures.net so far as customizing. But remember I said, any figure can be customized. Something to chop and cut. X-Acto knife or a pair of cutters to cut at the waist. A lighter when you want to bend small areas with heat. Your Dremel, so you can drill holes in the platform and take down flash and rough areas on figures or clean up figures that may be old before you paint them. After you paint, decal and trim, get a little dip of the static grass so you got realistic grass platforms. You got your face mask, and you can buy face masks and chin straps from Tudor. You can also buy from Dwayne Jennings at Electric Gridiron, so you can get your face masks and chin strips so your helmets and your hats all look real good and nice, you know. And this is how we start. You know, so I always want to make videos of how you start. So this is the things you're going to do to start. You're going to get your equipment. You're going to get your area to work in, your big workspace. Don't forget the chopping block. I just didn't have room to put the wooden chopping block. But get a chopping block, small chopping block, so you can cut your figures. And be careful when you're cutting. Like I said, younger people, ask your parents permission before you chop, cut, or burn anything. And this is how you start, fellas. This is the tools you need to make the athletes that you need. Not just figures. You're making athletes. Remember that. You know? So, again, we went over some of the customs. You know, any figure can be made into a custom figure. Any figure. So don't limit yourself. You can always take something old and make it into something new and something amazing that can do something special on that field. Figures and bases, it's a marriage. Hey, guys, you tweakers out there, you know, all you big-time tweakers, you know, I know you love them bases, but figures is an important part of that factor, too. So, guys that love figures, shout out to you guys. Guys that love electric football, pretty big shout to you guys. And stick with me. We're about to do some things. The next lesson is going to be what I call pick the pose, where I take a picture and actually take a figure and make the exact pose. So stay with me. Love you guys. EF forever. You know, take them notes, fellas, because I'm going to be giving you some good stuff. Take them notes. Love y'all. Peace. Episode 3. Wait for video 3. We got 2 down, 1 more to go. Talk to you soon, fellas. Peace.